ESO's Gold Road chapter is dropping soon, or hey, maybe it's already live by the time you're watching this, and if you're an economic role player like I am, you may like to partake in a considerable amount of furnishing plan farming, especially whenever new content drops, because new content means new furnishing plans, and new furnishing plans means we're eating good tonight, lads, honey. Bring out the fine china. Whether you're someone who's looking to learn these new plans for yourself so that you can beautifully decorate your ESO homes while your real life one looks like this, or you're someone who's looking to sell these new plans right away and earn some major stonks so that your character in-game can eat better than you do IRL, I've got you covered with this here farming guide. Before we start, I want to give a quick shout out to my community member, the Master Meme, for sharing the locations mentioned in this video in my Discord server. Master Meme has been an active community member for years and often shares juicy details and images related to ESO housing, including housing on the PTS, in my Discord server, which is always greatly appreciated. Let me bring everyone up to speed real quick, especially since there will likely be a bunch of new players joining us for Gold Road who have never farmed for ESO furnishing plans in their life. Veteran farmers, y'all can skip ahead to the locations if you like. I promise I won't be offended if you do. Fortunately, it's fairly simple to explain. Alright, let's jump right into it. Furnishing plans that can be acquired in the Overland come in 3 varieties: green, blue, and purple, with green being the most common plans that subsequently sell for the least amount of gold, and purple being the rarest kind of plans that sell for, I believe the scientifically correct term is a metric shitload. Especially any new purple furnishing plans for DLC and chapter zones. Those have famously sold for millions of gold on PCNA in the past because of their rarity, their limited supply upon barely being released, and the significant demand for them. Anytime you loot a container, whether you're legally searching through one or illegally looting one like the criminal scum that you are, you have a chance to receive a furnishing plan that corresponds with a base game style or a style that is specific to the DLC or chapter zone that you're in. So if I'm farming furnishing plans in the Bearer's Rest Inn in Fargrave, which is a DLC zone, by looting the containers there, I could potentially receive a nice Fargrave furnishing plan because that's the zone that I'm in. Or I could get a shitty base game furnishing plan for like an Argonian wicker gamer bucket or something, and knowing my luck, it's gonna be the latter. Once you loot all the containers in the instance, you won't be able to loot them again. Unless… What furnishing plan farmers like to do is reset the instance so that the containers can be repopulated with goodies and they can continue farming. Each player has a different preferred strategy for resetting instances, but some common ones include previewing and likewise porting to a home in the Crown Store and then walking right out the door to be returned to where you last were, and walking out of the nearest store in the instance and then returning. Although be mindful of the fact that this doesn't always reset the containers in an instance. It will in some places, like the Bearer's Rest Inn, and it won't in others. Normally, what you're going to want to look for is a door that gives you a load screen when you walk in or out of it. That's when the containers will become repopulated with items. Don't worry if it gets super busy at any of the spots that you're in. The containers that can drop furnishing plans are not like Overland treasure chests where the contents disappear once a player has looted them. If you're wondering what kind of containers can drop furnishing plans, I'll toss up a graphic on the screen right now that consists of a pretty extensive list. You'll definitely want to ensure that you have the Homemaker Champion point slotted anytime you're farming plans so that you can receive a 10% chance to find a second furnishing plan anytime you loot one in the Overland. And lastly, if you have the Azandar companion from the Necrom chapter, it's not a bad idea to summon him and have him keep you company as you farm for plans. If you have the Azandar's Inquisitiveness perk unlocked, you'll have a chance to discover research portfolios that can contain crafting recipes, like furnishing plans, treasure maps, survey reports, and other goodies whenever you search containers, something that you're going to be doing a lot of when you're farming plans. So where should you go to farm the new furnishing plans that are coming with Gold Road? Here are some possible locations. The Rustwall estate is a short trip southeast from Skingrad. At the estate, you'll find the Legionary Barracks, an area with about 20 containers that can be searched and not stolen from. What worked well for me here was I would walk through the door, and then in a clockwise fashion, I'd make my way around the perimeter of the room and loot all of the searchable containers while doing so. After I finished looting all the containers, I preferred to do the old preview and leave trick by porting to an unknown home in the Crown Store and then leaving as soon as I got there to reset the instance and repopulate all of the containers. Unfortunately, walking right out of this place and back in won't repopulate containers since you don't get a load screen. The Outcast Inn, located to the northwest of Skingrad in the Wildburn biome, also has a couple of searchable containers right next to a door that gives you a load screen, which is really handy. There are a few ways to enter the Outcast Inn, but the room with a bunch of containers that you'll want to look for is located on the first floor, right next to the stairs that lead to the cellar of the Outcast Inn, and right by a door that takes you to the courtyard. Here I can quickly loot a bunch of wardrobes and the odd backpack in a small enclosed area, then rush out the door and walk right back in to do it all over again. This reset method is definitely faster for me, as I don't have to open up the crown store or wait for my porting animation to finish, but there are fewer containers here than in the first location. These are two great spots to get you started on your furnishing plan grind in Gold Road. If I manage to find or hear about another excellent farming spot, I'll create a follow-up YouTube short with that location and include it as a title card and chuck it in the description as well. Farming for plans is, unsurprisingly, fairly dependent on RNG. So unlike doing something like farming materials or doing your daily crafting writs, which reward you with a more reliable and consistent source of valuable goods that can be traded for gold, you may not always get something worthwhile when you're searching containers for furnishing plans. So do keep this in mind. The nice thing about this gold farming strat is that your brain can kind of go AFK while you're farming, so it's something that you can do while you're doing something else, like watching a video or waiting for your dungeon queue to pop. And then of course, if you do manage to get lucky and grab a purple furnishing plan, that thing will sell for a ton of gold, especially if you manage to grab it while Gold Road is relatively new and the Gold Road plans have not yet been added to the Master Writ vendor's inventory via an RNG bag. Alright, that'll do it for this video. If you're watching this before Gold Road has gone live, you'll totally be ready to hit the ground running as soon as it has. Best of luck with the furnishing plan farming, and may you be blessed by RNGs, amen. Thanks for watching, thank you to my YouTube members for the additional support, and I'll see ya in the next video. Cheers.